saying how much we love this brand new single. I've had a chance to take a listen to it. Our listeners haven't yet, but they're about to, so congratulations.
Awesome. Thanks so much, mate.
So, mate, tell us a little bit about Break Me. This is a track that I believe is pretty much a post-break up song. So tell us a little bit about how this song came into being.
So this one was written quite a while ago now, really. So it's sort of been in the works for a good while, sort of getting fine-tuned here and there. It wasn't really written in response to anything. I guess you could call it more of an exercise in empathy. In that sort of sense, but it was just something that sort of came together, was really trying to capture that feeling of just like dread and sorrow and all that sort of self-loathing and self-doubt that a lot of people get in those situations of like, why am I, what's wrong with me, why did this happen, what's like everything like that, and just sort of really go down that rabbit hole. And try and capture those feelings, and it sort of came together really nicely with the tone of the song, which we thought was good.
It's a track that I get the feeling when I listen to it that a lot of people are going to listen to and say, I felt that way, or I'm feeling that way. Are you guys kind of ready for people to reach out and tell their own personal stories that the track makes them think about?
Look, if it's anything that connects with people on that level, then that's awesome. If we can help bring that out in people, if people are ready to talk about it because of that, that's like, I suppose that's really high praise for us in the sense. Obviously, we don't want anyone to have gone through that, but in a perfect world. But if we can help bring those emotions out in people and bring people forward and who are ready to talk about that, that's just amazing.
Now, a lot of people, of course, loved your first single. Did you guys feel any pressure putting together this follow-up single after the success of the first one?
A little bit, yeah. We sort of do feel we came out of the gate swinging a little bit with our first single. We were all sort of pretty happy with that. Not to sound too vain about it, but we were all pretty happy with what we'd come up with. And yeah, there was that sort of pressure to follow it up with something that lives up to the hype, but isn't just a carbon copy of what we've done. We didn't want to release the same song just because, the formula works. Let's go with that again. So we wanted to show a bit of a different side, and we're still a band in its infancy, so we want to try and explore a few different sounds and a few different ideas and see what resonates with people most.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. There's a bit of a different sound with this track. Is that something that you guys like to do, change the sound up a little bit and experiment with new sounds a lot?
Yeah, definitely. I think because we're really still trying to find our feet, and it's all an effort between a lot of us and trying to figure out what works best with everybody. And, we all sound different. We have different ideas and everything. So trying to find a sound that is more uniquely us, I suppose, rather than trying to just do the same thing that everyone else is doing. Like, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. This is a hugely saturated market of music at the moment, so it's definitely something that we're trying to put our own spin on it and put our own voice to it and our own sort of tone. So, yeah, I think it's in that regard, that's sort of what we're after.
Yeah, the other great thing too with this track that you couldn't do with the last track is get out there and play shows, because we're not in a pandemic anymore. So is that a big help now that you guys can get out there and play live shows and get a bit of a fan base that way as well?
Sorry, mate, can you give me 2 seconds there?
Yep, no problem. The question was, with the first track, we were all in lockdown, so you guys couldn't get out there and play any shows off the back of the first single, but you can this time. Is that a big difference that you've noticed, being able to get out there and play shows and get a bit of a fan base that way?
Yeah, for sure. I think we even kind of waited till the end of all the first round of lockdowns in Canberra to play any shows. And now we've done a few, and we're trying to focus on getting an EP written, but it's definitely opened up a heap, which is good. It's so weird going back to gigs after all this time as well, just as a viewer of them. But yeah, it's awesome. Just seeing us sort of progress with that, get more stage confidence and everything's been great.
Yeah. And for our listeners out there, Cam the drummer has joined now as well. So Cam, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on Break Me. We heard a little bit from Connor. What's your thoughts on this track as well?
I loved it. The first time I heard like the riff, and I wanted to I sort of come from more of a sort of a hardcore, post-hardcore sort of sound background, and I wanted to bring sort of elements of that into it, make it a bit. I guess it sort of came across a bit more punkier in the verses, and we just wanted to keep. A few people sort of commented on our first song how we had really high energy going the whole time, and I sort of really liked that as a compliment, because I think sort of being a high energy band is definitely just something, you know, like when people know that you're a high energy band, they want to go and see that live. They want to always sort of hear your tracks.
It's a real setback because we're all fat shits.
Yeah. So it was just good. Like I wanted to, even though it sort of kicks off a bit slow and gives you sort of draws in with that sort of synth intro. We wanted to sort of keep that energy up the whole time. And I think once the song actually gets going, it's kind of relentless. It doesn't hold up or hold back. Sorry, it's awesome. And
it doesn't hold up.
And like after being, like kind of said, after being fat shits, we're exhausted by the end of it.
Well, guys, I know a lot of people out there love the first track. I know they're going to love Break Me as well. Where to now? What are the plans? Are you guys going to keep releasing singles? Will you look at doing an EP or an album? And will you look to do some shows in other states as well?
Well, we're definitely looking to get something like an EP sorted. We're sort of mid-works in a bunch of little things that are hopefully going to turn themselves into quite a nice little EP, which... that's sort of still very much in its infancy, but it's coming along nicely, and we're sort of pretty happy. We don't want to rush that too much, just for the sake of getting music out. We'd rather spend the time on it and put something out that we're going to all be proud of.
We did have a bit of back and forth with that, because you see it so often now where a lot of bands are just doing a single every few months, so we were definitely open to that idea, but we kind of just got that many things floating about that we would like to push on with a full EP, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yep. And what about touring interstate? Can we expect to see you guys in Sydney or Melbourne sometime soon?
Yeah, put us on something.
Yeah, we can.
You know anyone, put us
spread the word around, tell them we're keen to jump on some gigs. We'll be down there for sure.
We're always keen.
Definitely. So for all the promoters out there, and we do know that you guys do listen to this show, World in Colour, great band. Get them playing in some of your bars and clubs very, very soon. I guess that's the best way to do it.
We'll just play in your mum's basement. It's fine.
Yeah, preferably.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're going to play Break Me on our show right now for the very first time. So, promoters, take a very, very hard listen right now. But, guys, what would you like to say to all of our listeners out there before they take a listen to Break Me for the first time?
We're sorry. Look, anyone that's taken a couple of minutes out of their life to actually listen to something that we've made is just high praise in any way, shape, or form. So it's so hard to sort of try and step away from the crowd and put something out there that people are going to want to listen to. So if anyone's taken the time, just thank you so much for investing that in us. Yeah, thank you in advance, and sorry afterwards.
Yeah. Check us out on all the socials, and follow us along on this journey. It's going to be awesome.